Working in lofts, it's always risky that you're going to go through the ceiling, and we're going to start on the tracking for the walls. The guys out here, brickers, have absolutely smashed this up, but then we can start getting the roof on, which is a massive step forward.
Take a look at this. These were put on with the original house.
Will has been very busy on the roof. So this is always the fun bit, working in lofts. It's always risky that you're going to go through the ceiling, and also when you're doing stuff like this, we're always very tight for space getting timbers in. Right guys, hopefully you can hear me over the rain, because in true British style it's chucking it down again, and obviously we've got no tiles on, so it amplifies everything and makes it really loud up here. But anyway, the binders are now in. You saw me cutting the ends off so we could get those in. That all worked really well. We've had to notch out some of the various joists just to get everything in. I've also had to notch this binder out to get over a certain bit down that end. They're all in now, they've been mucked in, bricked in. We've screwed through with some 150mm screws through the bottom of these joists into these binders, and they've also been screwed in on the sides as well. So these are nice and solid now. This ceiling, good job that worked, it's going nowhere. So that's it, we're really happy with this. So now, from our point of view, everything is done up here for the time being. We've got everything ready for the new roof to go on. So when the brickers are up to wall plate, we can then strip that side of the roof off, and then start putting our new roof into it. Just before I pop downstairs, I haven't mentioned, is these. We've put some new collars in. So these are pretty puny rafters, they're only 3-inch. We've bolstered it this side with some 6-inch timbers, because this is going to take our new roof from the extension. The new roof will lean onto this. Our new pitch roof, obviously we're going to put valley boards and ridge on, so we needed to make sure this was nice and sturdy. So we built this up. But what we haven't touched is the ridge beam. The ridge beam is very thin, and it's only 2 inches deep. So rather than risking it all resting against that, we've added these collars in, so it helps spread the load and stop everything spreading and stop any movement up there. So now this roof is nice and solid. It's actually really strengthened this side up as well, because it helps take any of the flex out. We've also changed the purlin over there, so that's nice and solid, because there was literally a tree in there. I'm not even exaggerating, it just looked like a tree. So we've now got 2 pieces of 7x2 timber in there bolted together, same as we did on that side. So that's nice and solid. We built the brickwork up as well, so that keeps everything nice and basically really rigid. It's just like a new roof, and it will easily take the new roof that we're going to put on top as well. That's it, we're going to move downstairs now, and we're going to start on the tracking for the walls, ready for the insulation and the plumbers to get their pipes in. We have finished what we can do up here with our metal studding. So what we've decided to do, because these old windows are not plumb, they're not square, they're all over the place, the windows are going to be replaced. So when the new windows go in, they'll be nice and plumb, square, level, everywhere that they need to be. And then what we can do is then adjust this stud work to suit. So everything that's in is loose. These have just got a few screws holding everything in, so then we can move everything, get our angles correct inside, try and maintain our equal reveals everywhere. It is going to be kind of dependent on the render outside as to where the window's fitted, so that ultimately is going to affect where we're going to put this wall. But all we've done is just leave it loose, as loose as possible, but basically roughly fit it for now, so it's in place. But what that does enable us to do is get our pipe centres down here, like I mentioned before, ready for the plumbers, so they know exactly how far off the wall this is going to come. This one is basically set in stone. We've allowed enough space for the window to be adjusted as needed. We have done in here, so we've got no issues with this window. This window is pretty much plumb anyway, but because we've allowed a bit of tolerance, this has enabled us to get this one done, so that's all good in there. Through here as well, we've got the same scenario in here. Because it's not a bay, we were able to take some measurements from that, because we know kind of ballpark where that's going to be. If we do need to do any adjustment, we can easily access the screws and just basically twist the wall as we need to, but that is pretty much set in stone now. This wall over here, all we've done is literally just set our base rail. That enables the plumbers to get their pipe centres, and we're all good there. The rest of the wall will be completed once the windows are in. We've pretty much done everything that we can do on here, so we can now hand this over to the sparkers and the plumbers to come in and start doing their first fix on these levels. As the brickers were cracking on with the brickwork on the extension, Will the roofer was getting stuck in with some lead work on the roof. Today, another busy day as always. Got to get this all unloaded, ready for the brickers. Extensions carrying on being built. Hopefully we'll get to wall plate by sort of end of play tomorrow-ish, maybe. The man, the myth, the legend, Will the roofer is up on the roof. Lots going on, so need to crack on. Guys out here, the brickers have absolutely smashed this up, but then we can start getting the roof on, which is a massive step forward. As soon as that roof's on, we can get watertight, and then we can crack on in here with plasterboard and stuff like that. Got the main bit of the roof on. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but what we've had to do is basically set a square roof, and then we're going to have to sort this bit out here afterwards, the funny angle of the roof. There was a lot of issues with trying to make it go in one. It's basically a quadrilateral roof, so you've got parallel side over there, 90 degrees to the house, but on this side you've got a dodgy angle. So if we'd have just done it rafted straight down, there would have been a big twist in the roof. So we've basically added two parallel sides across here, made a square roof, and then down there we're going to do like a lead box section. We just covered up everything, but tomorrow all we've got to do is basically get our lay boards in, get our jack rafters cut in, and then this will be this section of the roof done. Then we just got to work on the dodgy little bit down here, get our feet cut, and then that's it. This is ready to rock and roll for Will. You should be starting on this hopefully next week, and then once that's in, we're good. We can take the scaff down, and then we can do the flat roof downstairs, and hopefully by then the windows will be here as well, so we will be pretty much watertight, which is a massive, massive step forward, especially as we're coming into winter as well, because obviously winter, crap weather, we don't want that, do we? So, and also it means we can get a lot more stuff done inside. So if you can remember from before, the extension is at a bit of a funny angle. Nothing is square in here. So this angle here has obviously caused us issues with the roof. As the ridge comes along and the wall plate extends out like this, what that means is the rafters that come down become slowly but surely longer, which means the pitch gets less and less and less, so it would cause a twist. We've had to put a double trimmer in across here, which has basically squared the roof off right the way across, and then we can build our normal standard roof up to that then, and then we've basically infilled with the flat piece up to the angle. So we'll bounce upstairs now and I'll show you exactly what we've done up there so you can see it in a bit more detail. See what I was talking about with regards to the double trimmer? This has meant that our roof is nice and square, so it just means it was a lot easier to put our rafters in. The other option would have been to basically raise the ridge at the back and twist it over slightly, but by adjusting the ridge, what that does is make sure that your plane running through keeps all the same angle on all of your rafters. It would have been a little bit more complicated to do, but it would have meant that we would have done away with this flat area that we've had to do here. So basically all this has done is extended our bit here, so we've got a parallel roof there, and then we've basically got a flat section which is going to be leaded here. So the water will come down, our slates will finish here, and then our lead will wrap up and over at the bottom of the slates, and then this will effectively be like a lead box here. There is the valley, which is just here, will run down into this. We're doing a bit of makeup here to make sure that no water pools in this corner, and then everything then, this all slightly slopes off and will drop down straight to the gutter, which will expel all the water off as it normally would. So it's been a bit of a jiggle around to get everything to work, but we've got there, and Will is going to pop round very shortly as well, just to make sure he's happy. So there's no final adjustments need doing when he gets here, because we want him to be able to just hit the roof running rather than hitting the ground running. We don't want that. So yeah, that's it pretty much up here. Just got a few little minor bits, some noggins to put in over that side, and then we are basically done, and it is ready for Will to crack on, which is a massive step forward because then we're watertight. With Will smashing through the roof, James was tasked with bringing the reclaimed roof ridge tiles back to their former glory.
This is one we've done earlier, so take a look at this. These were put on with the original house, so it'd be very hard to find these now in a reclamations yard. Phil came up with the idea of putting two stainless steel screws in. We've resined them in, and that just gives the actual repair job a bit more integrity when we come to resin it on. I'm going to be using some of this stuff that we got from MKM, so this is just standard resin that you'd use to fix threaded bar on the wall. And I've made a small template like this. This is Phil's one. So this just basically sits on top of what's already there, and the idea is to use some of this resin, put it inside of there, obviously make sure we've got good coverage, and then plonk it on leave it to go off a little bit, and then all being well, we should be able to just pull the mould off and then sand it up a little bit, and then we've got a repaired ridge tile for Will to put on the roof. So let's give it a go. Inside this template, I've used this paint here, which is similar to the colour of the actual original ridge tiles. Obviously not exactly the same, but the idea is, obviously, if you see the colour of the resin now, that's like a dark grey, and obviously our ridge tiles are black, so we want it to key in a little bit better and blend in a bit.
The moment of truth.
Yeah. We'll leave that to go off now. I'd obviously do the same with this one, and then in the end it should look something like this, but we'll obviously show you what it looks like afterwards and report back to you.
With the ridge tiles prepped and ready, it was time to get them installed in their final place. This is an old property, and we try to retain as much of the original features as we can. Obviously inside it hasn't been the case because we've had to rip the whole lot out pretty much, but outside we've got some lovely old lime render on the front with some lovely cornice detailing everywhere, so we're trying to keep that. However, because of the age of the house, some of it has blown, which was inevitable really. So as well as stripping all the paint off back to the render, we've also had to strip some of the render off. So from this point up, will all be repaired with lime render. However, from that point down, it's previously been done with sand and cement, so the patching that needs to be done down there will be done with that. But the guys have been busy and scraped the vast majority of the paint off. There's still a few little bits here and there to sort out, but not much. Right, so in the entrance hallway, sparkers and electricians have started getting their first fix done, same as they have in these two rooms as well. Apart from that, not much has really changed because it was just a case of prepping ready for them. In this room, exactly the same. So this will be the office or the study. Just first fix has been going on in here. Right, so up here, again, first fix, electrics and plumbing. Let's go into the bathroom. So this will be the main bathroom of the house. This design has changed quite a few times because it's a bit of an awkward room. So we're now going to have the shower here, basin here, and then around here we're going to have a large freestanding bath in that alcove there with a towel rail there, and our toilet here underneath the window. So we've got various stud work up in here. Pete was cracking on with that yesterday. As you've noticed, it's a very odd shape everywhere. We've decided to square this off so our shower tray will sit in here. We're going to have a 900 by 2 metre shower tray with a nice rainwater shower coming out the top here. We're not going to climb up in the loft, but the plumbers have been busy up there. The boiler's in, the hot water tank is due tomorrow I think, so they'll be getting that in as well. So there's lots of stuff going on up there. Let's go through here. So this is going to be the master bedroom. So you can see over there we've got plenty of insulation in the walls ready, and it's been one-sided on the other side to allow obviously the sparkies and plumbers to get their stuff through to here into what will be the master ensuite. So we've got some metal stud work up in here. We've got our elements board on the walls ready for tanking. The reason for the metal stud rather than just dabbing is because we've got a semi-pedestal basin on that wall, which means we're not going to be able to hide the waste pipe behind it. So we've had to do this to bring it off so the waste pipe can go into that stud wall, so that's why we've done that rather than just dabbing. Same on this side, we've dabbing some extra strips on here just to bring this out enough so our tray fits in perfectly. We don't want any gaps or any little dodgy nibs or anything like that, so that's why we've done that. Right, let's pop out to the bedrooms and see what's been going on in there. Right, so in these bedrooms, not a great deal has been going on. Obviously, same as in there, we've got one-sided and we've got our insulation in. Sparkies have started in here, plumbers have got to just get their tails up, ready for the rads, and that is about it. Right, let's pop downstairs and see. The main thing that's happened, there's been a big change down there, let's go. So, down here, you may have noticed, we've got this on the walls. So, the guys from Salatech have been very busy and have got all this done as far as they can. Obviously, because we haven't got the doors in yet, so they can't do the whole thing. But they've fully encapsulated everything from that point onwards, which is a massive step forward. You can see as well, we've got our insulation down on the floor. The reason we've got the insulation down already is because obviously we still need to walk through this area, and if the tanking was just left exposed, there's a chance it could get damaged. So we made the decision to get the insulation down now and then put the sheets of ply over the top of it, just to protect everything so nothing gets damaged, because we don't want to be replacing stuff now that it's done. What I will show you is our little tray system. So if you remember from a previous video, you'll see why we did our little insulation detail to create our little recess around the edges. So this little tray here basically carries away any groundwater that comes into the property. It comes down the back of the tanking or underneath the floor tanking and will find its way into this tray. It will then go outside, work its way around to this point here, which will obviously be cut off, and then the drain will go out through that and out into our pump outside. This runs all the way around the perimeter and goes to the other side as well, and then both of those 4-inch pipes go down into that, and then it gets expelled out through into the main sewer at the back. Let's pop into the garden and just have a look and see what's been going on out here. You've seen the retaining walls been built down here. The guys have been busy at work breaking out all the concrete path that was all the way back up there. We're going to have a nice path that's going to run alongside the wall with some lighting in it to basically light the wall up along there. So all this concrete needed to go in preparation for our new sub base for the tiles going in there. There's obviously been a lot going on out here. It's taken quite a while. There's also a French drain that's been in here as well installed, so any water that comes across here will go into the French drain. So we'll drill some holes through the bottom of the wall, and then any water that builds up in the French drain will be able to expel out through there and then go off into the drainage. We're also going to do that across this retaining wall as well, because obviously across that there's going to be a lot more groundwater and it needs somewhere to escape, because that would have been a contributing factor to why the wall gave way in the first place. So we're going to, once we've got our ground levels out here, we'll then drill some holes there to allow for any water through there to escape. That is about it. I say that, Will has been very busy on the roof, so we'll just pop it there as well and just check out and see what he's been doing. You can see this roof looks absolutely mint. Obviously we've got new slate on the back here. That is because we couldn't save enough to do both sides of the roof and this roof as well. This is a conservation area, and what that means is we need to retain as much of the original features as possible, which means reusing the old slate on the roof. We've been able to do that on the front because we could obviously save enough to do that, whereas the back and this smaller roof we weren't able to, so we've had to use new. Those ridge tiles are amazing, and apart from the roof next door, nobody has ever seen these ridges before, so they're awesome and they had to be repaired and kept and reinstated. Up here is obviously nearly done. Will's got to come back and put these ridges on and just do a bit of pointing on these verges, but apart from that, that is done. Finishing touches complete, the roof was now finished, which meant we could take down the scaffold and focus our attention on the internal work of the property. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give us a big thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed, please do, because we are so close to 100,000 subscribers. You can help us get there. Take care guys, see you soon.